This is the story of scarification and germination. So what is scarification? I've never heard that word before. Scarification, I learned it from studying plant science. What it is, some seeds, they don't germinate, they don't grow unless they are somehow damaged. Their outer coat, their outer layer is too tough. It needs to be broken down before the seed can grow. Okay, so there's several different ways it could happen physically. It needs to be broken. So if you're a homeowner, it needs to be hit with a hammer. Naturally that will happen if the seed is in water, hits rocks, it will happen in storms, it will get digested, bears will walk on it and eat it, and all sorts of ways that in nature the seeds will be scarified. Now I don't just talk about this because I like plants. I talk about it because it has a practical application in our lives. See, we think that we just need the perfect environment and that's going to be what we need to grow and succeed. We think happy family, friends, we want nice good music, we want the nice house with AC and heat, and just we want to be comfortable all the time. But that's not how things grow. That's not how nature works. So you might be in a scarification process right now and you might be resisting the hell out of it because you don't understand what it is. You don't see any value in it. But I'm here to say there is value in being scarified, and yes, scar, cut, but with the knowledge that you will heal and you need it for your growth. So this could look so different for many different people. You could be going through losing a job, you could be going through physical ailments, you could be going through any process that you think is not good for you. And what I'm offering is you to switch your perspective around and just see what could possibly be on the other side of it. What lessons could you be learning from this process? You might be soaking in sadness, in a sad, acidic solution. And I don't want to make this seem like you should just purposely put yourself into bad situations, but you could put yourself purposely into uncomfortable situations. But if dangerous situations, physically dangerous, then actually get out of the situation. Sometimes seeds need to be thermally scarified. I'm going to say scarified 150 times in this video, so strap in. They need to be burnt. You need to go through a fire first. In our lives, that's a great metaphor. We're going through the fire. We're in the thick of it. For me, that's been depression. That's been questioning everything about myself, my life, questioning my self-worth, not having a single damn clue what to do, hating my job, just hating what I was doing every day for years in a row, and being alone for a long period of time, not having many friends, having anxiety about things that aren't real but you think they're happening and then you don't know how to stop it. All that fits into I don't care which if you want to use the fire analogy, soaking in acid, or getting hit with a hammer, it really is irrelevant because these are all just metaphors, right? Life is beating you down, but there is a purpose. It's leading you in a direction. You have an outer layer of resistance and fear, and life is breaking it down for you to realize, I can do this. It's showing you resistance and fear in order for you to claim your power and walk through the enemy. That's the purpose of the dark. We wouldn't have the light without the dark, right? Because it would just be one thing. It would just all be light. You would have no idea what light is because that's all there would be. All the darkness is waiting for is for you to shine the light on it. It was never actually there. Darkness is the absence of light. It's not its own entity. It's just a place where light is not. So you claiming your power, showing love, compassion, and knowing yourself as worthy, that's what defeats the enemy, so to speak. And that's the sole purpose of all these demons we're battling. For me, I can say all this and there's still things that come up because it's all easier to say than it is to practice, but I know I've practiced it a lot and it's what has helped me each time. has been remembering this. But then I've gone like years where I just lose myself, and maybe that's why I like creating these videos. Now I'll have something to fall back on in my own words. But seriously, YouTube and the messages of others have been what has supported me and kept me afloat as I've traversed treacherous fields and gone into depression and anxiety. People speaking truth has been what has been my life jacket. And sometimes I would watch the video and then turn it off, and 10 seconds later I was back in it. But you know what? That's all right. You're creating space. It's practice. It's practice. Even if you take a couple of the words I'm saying and apply it to your life, or watch another YouTube video and apply it, even practice it 10 times, 15 times. Write it down on a piece of paper. Look at it. Little lessons like that, they build up when you just focus on it. What you pay attention to grows. Think about it. You're paying attention. You're paying with currency, which is your energy, your focus. You're paying attention. So what happens when we pay for things? We get something, right? So if you want to pay attention to these small truisms, little things, you'll see the effects eventually. It might not be overnight. In fact, it's definitely not going to be overnight. A lot of the times, life sort of tests you on these. So you say, oh, you value love over fear? Well, here's a situation where that's going to be fucking hard to practice. just to test your level of commitment to love, fear. And if you stay committed, you have to stay the path. And it's difficult for sure. And that's just a little nugget in there. There's a lot of different reasons why you might be feeling depression. There's always another side to it. Always. Think about it. Nothing is permanent. No matter what you've been through, it's not been permanent. I know it's not, because somewhere back in time you weren't born yet. So whatever you were going through now, you weren't going through at some time. Right? At some point I didn't know how to walk. Oh, now I can walk. I didn't know how to use the toilet. Now I can. Didn't know how to spell. Boom, 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 boom. At one point I was super depressed and hated my life. Okay, now I'm not. So just know, okay, I am feeling this right now, but it's not going to last forever. There's no way, because nothing has ever lasted forever. Nothing will last forever. There's just many different layers of depression or tough times, and I just don't want to act like I have all the answers, because your thing is so individualized. That's why I'd love to connect. But anyway, I'm just gonna throw out as many different things as I can, and if some lands, great. I can recommend more resources in that direction. Sometimes when we really dislike the way our life is going, our direction, our job, our relationship, our current life situation, and you feel like shit, it's your body saying, hey, your dreams are somewhere else and you're here, so we're gonna make you miserable so you don't keep doing this. You're not meant to be doing what you're doing. And this is, like I said, a possibility for what's going on. Because I realized in my life, every time I was miserable, it's because I was doing something not in alignment with my purpose. So life was making me sad, and I was staying in the course. I was like, nope, I'm staying in the job, and I'm gonna keep drinking, and I'm gonna keep smoking, and it just got worse and worse and worse. It's because you're walking farther into the quicksand out of stubbornness. Yep, I'm doing it. It's okay, well, you're just wading farther into the deep end. So it's your choice. It's all your choice. And you'll keep wading into that deep end until you crack in half. Until you completely break down. If you let it go that long, you'll break down, and then that will be your wake-up call. You'll have a near-death experience. You'll have whatever your breakdown will look like for you. You'll have a moment of oh, okay, this is making me this kind of bottomed out. So, but you don't need to let it get to that point if you listen to the signs and follow your intuition. I never liked the word faith growing up, because I associated that with religion, and I didn't think religion was very rational or scientific, so I didn't attach much value to the word faith. Now I have faith, and what that faith stands for is that things will change, and it's gonna go up sometimes and down sometimes. It's gonna depend, like an ocean, right? Like waves. So I can also just say, I know things are gonna get better. You can say, and they're gonna get worse. Yeah, you could say that, but I keep the perspective. Things are going to get better. That is true. There's other layers to it, but it will get better. And you reach a certain point, you don't even have to say worse. Things will be built and things will be destroyed. It doesn't need to be positive, negative, yay. It can be just, oh wow, that's really neat. Look at all this coming together. And whoa, okay, that all just crashed to the fucking ground. Great. That's something I'm realizing more and more. So, with that being said, it's that faith in the scarification, in that trial by fire. It's the faith that just kind of holds it together. So without faith, you'll still get better, you'll still come up, because that up and down waves I was talking about, that's like just natural. It doesn't matter what you believe, it's just gonna happen. But you're gonna be devastated emotionally when things drop again. So you don't need faith, but I'm saying it can really help you surf the waves, right? Because most of my life I was getting tossed around by the waves. You ever been tossed around by a wave in the ocean and like you don't know what way is up or down, and there's salt water like in your ears, nose, mouth, lungs, and you're just like, your leg is like over your head and you're just like, what the fuck? That's from an emotional level, I've experienced both the real one and the emotional, spiritual, whatever. But you can also surf the wave. You can have fun with that, and it's neutral. It's doing its thing. So we are now, this is surfing scarification, a guide to germinate your dreams. All right, guys, thanks for following along this far. Definitely learning to hone in and stay focused, because I'm opening up hundreds of rabbit holes each time I say a sentence. But hopefully the theme was, life can be rough sometimes, but there is another way, and it always gets better. So trust, have some faith, know that sometimes things need to fall apart and go through certain processes before they're ready to fully germinate and awaken and have fun and feel the light. But the truth is, like, even in those dark times, you can still be aware of the light that's, even though it's dim, or dim on the surface. It's actually trusting that, you know, all right, I'm soaking in the acid, I am being burnt, I can't grow right now, but there's that beauty in knowing that you will grow. And I would just wish that for everyone. And like I said before, message me via Facebook or the YouTube, doesn't matter. Set up a call with me, go into some more details about wherever you are, because ultimately all the resources in the world, books, videos, blogs, they can be super helpful, but the next level is getting individualized attention for where you are, because your situation is unique and what you're struggling with is unique. And when you're trying to map it out by yourself, it just takes forever, because there's just a million different possibilities. And yeah, so I really recommend getting support with any of this. Doesn't need to be me, but bouncing ideas off other people, because most of what I went through about getting flipped upside down on my head and this and that, I don't know if I even probably talked about that with anyone. At a certain point I did, because I was like too miserable to like physically move. So then like people noticed and asked, and I was at the point of like such desperation that I did get help. And that's what I mean, like life will kick you into that gear where you will have to ask for help. Like you'll be in a pile on the ground and someone's gonna be like, do you need help? And you're gonna be like, yeah, okay. I am now broken into, I am gonna say yes to the help. But you can just ask for help before it gets to that point. So that's the point. Now, thanks for following along. Now this video has finally come to a close, and hope you guys learned some things. Thank you. Scarification and surfing. What you can learn from Julie and Michael. Get scarified and surf. Costa Rica 2019, bro. Scarification and surfing. I'll be your instructor, Julie and Michael, today. This is about getting scarified and germinating. You heard?